Let's all sign ourselves in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this wonderful day that you have blessed us with, O Lord. Jesus. We want to thank you for the gift of your Holy Spirit, always empowering us. For you have said in your word, O God, in Acts chapter 1 verse 8, you will receive the power when the Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses until the end of the earth, till Judea, Samaria, and the ends of the earth. Lord, help us be your witnesses, O God. Yes, Jesus. Send your Spirit to cleanse us and make us whole. Yes, Lord. Send your Spirit, O God. Fill us with the fruit of your Spirit, the gifts of your Spirit, that we may be witnesses for your sake, O God. Yes, Lord. Holy Spirit, rain down on us. Holy Spirit, rain down, rain down. Oh, Comforter and friend, how we need your touch again. Holy Spirit, rain down, rain down. Let your power fall, let your voice be heard. Come and change our hearts as we stand on your word. Holy Spirit, rain down. Purify my heart, let me be as gold and precious silver. Purify my heart, let me be as gold, pure gold, refined as fire. My heart's one desire is to be
My dear sisters and brothers, we are continuing the series on the fruit of the Holy Spirit. And today we are going to focus on faithfulness. To begin with, let's define faithfulness and make sure that we are talking about the same thing. If you were going to define faithfulness as Paul uses it in the New Testament, how would you do it? Well, if you looked in a dictionary, you would find a technical definition that says faithfulness means to follow through with a commitment regardless of difficulty. That's a good definition. But let me give you one that may be easier to remember. Faithfulness is love hanging on. Faithfulness is love hanging on. It is love saying, I will not quit. There may be misunderstandings. There may be disappointments. There may be discouragements. But I will not quit. It is love hanging on. If someone says, I really love my spouse, and then goes out and has an affair, you may call them a liar. You may call them a cheat. But most of all, you will say they were unfaithful. That is what they have been. And as long as they continue to be unfaithful, no matter how strong their arguments may be, no matter how loudly they proclaim their love for their spouse, you will not believe them because their unfaithfulness negates their proclamation of love. Actions do speak louder than words. And if someone says, I really love the Lord, or I really love the church, and then is unfaithful, then it's hard to believe that they really do love the Lord. Because you see, faithfulness and love always go hand in hand. Faithfulness is love hanging on, regardless of the situation. You may get discouraged, you may be disappointed, but faithfulness says, even though there is discouragement and disappointment, I will not let go. I will not quit. I will keep on attending and giving and serving because God has called me to be faithful. And I will be faithful to my Lord regardless of what He says or she says or they say or whatever may happen. I will not quit. One of the big box office traditions or attractions some years ago was a movie called Bridges over Madison County. It was advertised as the world's greatest love story. It featured Clint Eastwood not as a rebel cop, but as a traveling photographer, and Meryl Streep as a housewife. They meet and begin having an affair. Then after 4 days, they end it and go their separate ways. And Hollywood called it the world's greatest love story. You see, this world doesn't really understand faithfulness, and it surely doesn't understand love. It doesn't even have a clue as to what Paul is talking about when he says the fruit of the Spirit is faithfulness. To help us better understand faithfulness, let's look at a demonstration of faithfulness in the Bible. Once again, the example is Jesus and is found in the 16th chapter or the Gospel of Matthew, verse 21, which tells us that Jesus brings his disciples together and tells them that he's going to Jerusalem. He tells them, I know what will happen there. I'm going to be arrested and beaten and crucified, but I'm going anyway. You may remember that in the next verse, Peter tries to stop him. He said, Lord, don't go. But Jesus says, get behind me, Satan. Now here's the reason that he called Peter Satan. Because Satan was using Peter to try to get Jesus to quit, to be unfaithful. Again and again, throughout his ministry, Satan tried to tempt Jesus to be unfaithful. Don't go to the cross. Just quit. It's going to be too tough. There will be too many obstacles, too many difficulties. Just turn around and quit. The Bible tells us that Jesus set his face steadfastly towards Jerusalem. That's faithfulness unto death. And the faithfulness of Jesus has inspired the faithfulness of others down throughout the ages. Those who hung in day through the good and the bad, through times of plenty and times of want. My sisters and brothers, George Muller was an English evangelist and philanthropist who built and ran orphanages in Bristol, England. George Muller began praying for 5 of his friends. He prayed 5 years before the first one was converted. For the next one, he prayed 10 years. For the third one, 25 years. For the fourth, nearly 50 years. The last one was converted after 52 years at George Muller's funeral. George Muller was faithful even unto death. If we want to develop faithfulness, there are certain things that we need to be careful about. We need to realize that temptations will come. Just as surely as Jesus was tempted to be unfaithful, we will be tempted to be unfaithful in your marriage, in a relationship with the Lord, and in the church. That's what Satan does. He will tempt us to be unfaithful. Secondly, we need to seek the Holy Spirit's reinforcement and develop regular positive spiritual habits. This world is not a Christian world, and we are being pressured on every side to develop negative habits, tempting us to be unfaithful in church attendance, to be unfaithful in prayer, unfaithful in studying the Word of God, to get away from what the Word says and dwell rather on what the world says. But if we say, get behind me, Satan, and be determined to serve God faithfully, then people will be able to count on us. We'll be consistent and trustworthy and reliable. We'll develop these habits so they come automatically. And when Satan tempts us, we will not be severely tempted because we have developed the habits of faithfulness and we will not quit. Finally, we need to get back up when we fall or are knocked down. Let us look at Saul of Tarsus, who became the Apostle Paul. He experienced all kinds of persecution, all kinds of discouragement, all kinds of temptation, yet he didn't give up. Then came the glorious day when the Apostle Paul wrote these words to Timothy in 2 Timothy chapter 4 verses 6 to 8. The time has come for my departure. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing. Are you going through painful experience? Do you feel that you have been knocked down, or maybe that you have fallen? Are you tempted to quit? Don't stop. Keep pressing on. Hang in there, because faithfulness is love hanging on. Amen. God bless you.